In this video, I'll explain wheelchair assistance at the airport. Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome to the Average Me channel. And in this video, we are going to talk about how to use wheelchair accessible options at the airport. Let me begin by sharing my situation. I don't need a wheelchair, but I travel with my in-laws frequently, and they do. They're elderly, they're in their 80s, and although they can walk, they can't walk long distances, they can't handle luggage, carry-on, getting through TSA is an issue, and navigating the airport itself. This could even be somebody who sprained an ankle, broke a leg, something like that. If you don't really need a wheelchair all the time, isn't this a little unfair? Absolutely not. It's why the airlines and airports have the option. It speeds things up for everybody. It makes things go more smoothly through TSA. It makes boarding the plane easier and quicker for everybody. So just because your person is not confined to a wheelchair doesn't mean you should not utilize this wheelchair accessible option. It is good for everybody all the way around. So let's start at the very beginning. I am going to be looking at this through the perspective of Southwest Airlines because that's who we recently traveled with. And it starts when you're purchasing the ticket. With Southwest, and I know with many airlines, it gives you the option right away to tell them that the person you're traveling with may need a wheelchair. And let me show you when you print out that boarding pass at home, what that looks like. So this is a boarding pass at home. Now right up here, it says wheelchair. Actually, what it says is WCHR. And that is an indicator that the individual needs a wheelchair. Now, if you print out your document at the Skycap desk or at the check-in desk where you check your luggage, it's going to look the same way. You're going to have that little smaller ticket, but it's going to have the same indicator on it. Now, what if you forget to do that? Well, you can always go back in and modify your reservation. If you forgot and you arrive at the airport, it isn't absolutely necessary that you have given them prior notification, but they do like to know that, so if you can, do it. But if not, go up to the counter or to the Skycap desk and just tell them, we need a wheelchair. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but that's a general idea. Now, you might say, what are we living in the Stone Age? Really? Is this the 1970s? Well, I guess in the 70s you couldn't print out this at home anyway. But why are we printing things out? Trust me, it makes it so much easier if you are using wheelchair accessible options to have a paper boarding pass. The reason is the people who assist you are going to help you with everything, including getting through TSA. And if they have paper passes that they can pass along to the TSA agent, it's so much easier for them rather than having to fumble with somebody else's cell phone. So I heavily recommend that you print out a boarding pass. If you don't do it at home, do it when you get to the airport. All right, so now we arrive at the airport. We've notified the airline when we purchased our ticket that we'll be needing a wheelchair. They're not going to be waiting for us there, but they will be aware of how many people are going to need that. So now we arrive at the airport. I would recommend, if your airport has Skycap Service, utilize it. It's so much easier. You're not going to have your wheelchair yet. I'm assuming that your people don't arrive with their own wheelchair. That's a different situation, and you will want to make people aware of that at the airline because they will have to check that wheelchair, and it's a little more involved. Not a lot, but a little more. We're just going to talk about using the airport service, the airport wheelchairs. So you arrive at the airport. You want to use the Skycap service if possible, because that way your people will not have to be walking any more than they have to. The service will not physically touch the passengers. They're going to do everything else, but they won't touch you. So you'll have to be able to help your family member or friend physically get in and out of the wheelchair, or they'll have to be able to do that on their own. So be aware of that. These are not, nursing assistants. They're not going to help you in and out of the chair. They're not going to help you in and out of the restroom. They're simply going to get you through the airport to and from the gate and to and from the plane. So you get to the Skycap. The reason you want to check in is you want to get rid of all that luggage as soon as possible. They will do so much for you. They'll check you in. They'll get your boarding pass. They'll tag your bags. They'll give you your claim checks. They will contact the person with the wheelchair and get a wheelchair there. They do so much. People ask me frequently, how much do you tip? Minimum $2 a bag. I would say even a little more than that. Minimum of $5 perhaps, and $5 for every 2 bags. So if they have 2 bags, $5. If they have 3 bags, you're moving into the $10 range with 3 to 4 bags, and so on. They do a lot, so consider that money well spent. Now, you're on your way because your people will now have a wheelchair and you can start heading to the gate. Let's back up a little bit. What if you don't have the Skycap service? Well, then you'll have to get your wheelchair people, or if you're the person in the wheelchair, get yourself into the airport and somehow notify someone at the airline desk. They usually have kiosks there, and someone is wandering around the kiosk. You can tell them. You can walk up to the desk, notify the person at the desk that you need wheelchair assistance, or sometimes if you even see one of the wheelchair people, say, hey, could you help me? They will not probably get you in the wheelchair, but they will get the people to you that can help. Now you're in a wheelchair. What they will do is take your carry-on or your purse or whatever. They'll hang it from the clips that are on the wheelchair. They will get that carry-on bag underneath the chair. They will get you through security. They will take care of everything. They're going to need your ID. They're going to need your boarding pass. Please, once again, have a paper boarding pass. Make their job easier. And then they will get you to the gate. Typically, what happens at the gate, there is a cordoned off area where all of the wheelchair people can line up. Or they will push you somewhere and they will make the people at the gate aware that there are people there in wheelchairs. Of course, people at the desk will recognize that as well. Now you wait until it's boarding time. People in wheelchairs are going to be able to board first. And typically, for every person in a wheelchair, you can have one family member, friend, or someone to assist you. Now, if you need that assistance, you can get what's called a non-passenger escort. What that means is when you arrive at the airport, you go up to the desk, you'll need an ID, you'll need everything just as if you're traveling. And what this does is it gets you through security so you can escort your friend or family member to the gate, even though you don't have a boarding pass and you're not going to be flying. So I'm not going to say any more about that. However, I want you to be aware that you can get a non-passenger escort. That's what you ask for. And you will be able to get what looks like a boarding pass, but it's just going to get you through TSA, through security, and up to the gate so you can assist. So when it's time to board, the assistant people are going to come back. They'll know when the boarding times are, or someone from the airline, and they will get you to the door of the plane. Once you're there, you're on your own. So make sure that you have someone there that can help you. The reason I'm telling you that, if your person in the wheelchair cannot physically get their carry-on up into the overhead, please check that bag. Flight attendants are not expected to hoist everybody's bag up into the luggage area. Now, I know that seems unfair. It seems like then healthy people get an advantage, but it's unfair in the other way too if you're bringing bags on and you do not have the physical ability to stow them, and now you're creating a problem with boarding and you're expecting other people to put your luggage in the overhead for you. So please be aware of that. If you cannot physically stow your own bag in the overhead, that baggage should be checked. Your carry-on, either you can put it up yourself or you can put it underneath the seat in front of you. Now it's going to be like any other passenger, any other flight. Be aware they will not assist you to and from the bathrooms. So if you need a walker, if you need a cane, have that available to you, and either have a family member who's flying provide that assistance, or take care of your bathroom needs before and after the flight. When you arrive at your destination or at the place where you're going to have your layover, they know how many people have wheelchairs on that plane, and they will be waiting with wheelchairs when you get off the plane. So you have to get yourself to the door and step off the plane, and they will help you from there. Now, can you rely on the assistance of, kindly fellow passengers? Of course. I help people all the time. I'm not a really big guy, but I'm about 6 feet. I can get things into the overheads. I'm always helping elderly people, shorter people, and it's not a big deal. But all I'm saying is I would not expect it. So anticipate how you're going to deal with your carry-on. And then that's that. They will get you all the way to the luggage, to the baggage area, to the carousel area. And once again, from there, you're on your own. How you're going to get your bags, and if you're going to have a car service and all of that, you might have to make your own plans, but they will get you to and from the gate. And but they will get you typically from your check-in area to the gate, and they will get you from the gate to the carousel. By the way, none of this costs anything, but you should tip the people who are pushing the wheelchair. How much should you tip? Well, think about how much they're doing for you. They are doing a lot. They are pushing you through sometimes very busy airports, and they spend a lot of time, and they're helping you with your bags. They're getting you through TSA. We tip $20 per person that's being helped. I would say if you can't afford that, a minimum of $10. I think it's really worth it. The work that they do, the ease at which they get you through TSA, get you to that gate, get you settled in, is well worth a $20 bill. So beyond that, we all have to live within our means, especially in today's world. But I hope this helps you out. If it did, please like and share the video. Leave your comments down below, and don't forget to ring that bell icon. That way you'll know when I post new videos. By the way, I am going to be starting a series of shorts where I took some of my videos and I cut them down into smaller digestible pieces to help you with your travel needs, and you can look for that over the course of the next couple of months. So thanks for joining me. I'm Mark, and this is the Average Me Channel.